Right now, how the weekend forecast may impact your post-Thanksgiving travel plans, and an annual tradition in Rock County kicking off the holiday season. Plus, now that Thanksgiving has come and gone, we'll take a look at the long process of growing the perfect Christmas tree.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
Thanks for joining us tonight. The trip back home from Thanksgiving may once again be hindered by the weather this weekend. A wintry mix of precipitation may make for slick travel overnight and early tomorrow morning, and some light snow could make things slippery again on Sunday. Let's go right to Chief Meteorologist Gary Canolti with our first alert forecast.
Well, Amanda, first thing we have to do is get past tonight, and already we're seeing some wintry precipitation across much of Wisconsin. Right now, as we look at Doppler radar, you can see mainly snow in central Wisconsin heading toward northern Wisconsin, but a mix of precipitation over parts of southern Wisconsin with rain closer to the Wisconsin-Illinois state line, where temperatures are just a couple degrees warmer. There are winter weather advisories until noon tomorrow for Richland, Juneau, and Adams County, starting at midnight, running through noon tomorrow for Sauk, Columbia, Dodge, Marquette, and Green Lake counties just to the north of Dane County. Temperatures here in Madison are just above freezing at 33. It's in the mid-30s closer to the Illinois state line, but below freezing to the north, where the wintry mix of precipitation is expected. Look for that mix to gradually change over to rain during the early morning hours tomorrow as temperatures rise to a high of 40 tomorrow afternoon. It'll be windy with off and on rain showers through the afternoon, but the second part of the storm system will reach us on Sunday with some light snow and probably causing some travel problems as well. I'll have more details on weather in a few minutes.
Thank you, Gary. And it's not just Wisconsin getting hit this weekend. Stormy weather has been pounding parts of the west with snow, and rain and wind is forecast to head east over the next few days. Even California's normally bone-dry Death Valley didn't escape the storm. In one day, the desert got 3 months worth of rain. Due to weather expected this weekend, a couple of the biggest airline companies are offering waivers for passengers traveling through the Northeast. For American Airlines, that includes nearly 30 airports. For Delta, it's around 24 airports. Both of those include some of the biggest hubs in the country, including New York City and Boston. And if you're away from your TV this weekend, stay up to date on the incoming local weather with our Channel 3000 First Alert Forecast and Traffic app. It includes our free local forecasts and interactive radars and up-to-the-minute travel and road conditions. A 38-year-old man from Darlington has been arrested after driving into the Grand Lighted Holiday Parade route in downtown Beloit tonight. Police say the driver, identified as Curtis Metz, drove past a squad car and through the barrier at Park Street and Grand Avenue, prompting a pursuit that came to an end in Winnebago County, Illinois. No one was injured. Metz is facing several charges, including 5th offense OWI. Several law enforcement agencies in Dane County are still out searching tonight for an elderly couple who went missing after Thanksgiving dinner. Dawn and Colleen Soper left their family's house yesterday at 3 p.m. They said they were going for a country drive, but since then, their family hasn't been able to find them. They're both 87 years old. Colleen has Alzheimer's with dementia, and Donald has diabetes, and his daughter isn't sure he has insulin on him.
All we can do is search for them and continue to expand our search and pray.
Their car is a 2008 Dodge Caliber. It last pinged at the intersection of Highway J and 78. Right now, that's where the search is centered. An elderly woman was killed in a Thanksgiving night fire in Beaver Dam. 82-year-old Eleanor Newman was planning on moving out of her home near Beaver Dam Lake in the town of Westford in just a few weeks. She died from injuries in the hospital. Her 91-year-old husband, Reuben, was taken to the hospital but is expected to be okay. The cause of that fire is still under investigation. New information tonight about a fire at the African Safari Wildlife Park in Ohio. The co-owner today saying 10 animals were killed as a result. The park has been a staple for the city of Port Clinton for more than 50 years. They say the barn that caught fire late last night was heated using propane and had no fire suppression system, but the fire is not considered suspicious.
Thousands of people have reached out to us to offer their condolences and support. Despite being so sad about this, our team is here today caring for more than 400 other animals living at the park. Thankfully, they are all safe.
The park has a conservation fund set up for people wishing to help. Police in London are searching tonight for a motive into a new terror attack in the British capital. It happened on the London Bridge when a man wielding a knife went on a stabbing spree, killing 2 people and seriously wounding 3 others. Witnesses say he was wearing a suicide vest, but the vest turned out to be fake. Police shot and killed the attacker. Another stabbing attack in the Netherlands today at a shopping district in The Hague. The suspects there is still on the loose. A police spokesperson says all 3 stabbing victims are minors, but there's no indication of a terrorist motive. The conditions of the victims are unknown tonight. About 50,000 people are back in their homes tonight as authorities in Texas say a massive chemical plant fire is finally considered to be contained after 3 days. 3 workers were treated for injuries following 2 major explosions there, but no one was killed. Officials warned residents of that Gulf Coast town that while the fire is contained, they may still see the aftermath.
So there's still going to be smoke in the air. There's still going to be flames visible at night. That is going to be addressed as quickly and as safely as we possibly can.
The area around the chemical plant is still restricted. It's located about 80 miles east of Houston. A special welcome home today for nearly 200 Wisconsin National Guard soldiers. The Red Arrow 2nd Battalion, 127th Infantry, has been in Afghanistan since late last year. Today, they were welcomed back during a ceremony at Volk Field. Exactly 1 year since their send-off ceremony at Lambeau Field. They have been demobilizing at Fort Bliss in Texas for the past couple of weeks. Another 200 soldiers from the same battalion also returned to the U.S. last weekend. Their homecoming ceremony has not yet been planned. President Trump made a surprise visit to Afghanistan on Thanksgiving. The president visited troops and met with Afghan leaders. Mr. Trump's first ever visit to the country was highlighted by an announcement that peace talks with the Taliban have resumed.
We're meeting with them, and we're saying it has to be a ceasefire. They didn't want to do a ceasefire, but now they do want to do a ceasefire. I believe it probably work out that way.
President Trump set a goal to reduce the number of American troops in Afghanistan to about 8,600, down from the roughly 12,000 now deployed there. Now that Thanksgiving is behind us, Christmas decorations are in full swing, and that means the holiday lights are going up. Rock County reporter Adam Duxter joined families on the path of the Janesville Rotary Gardens light show on this opening night.
Well, last year's show brought close to 60,000 people to Janesville's Rotary Gardens, and those behind the plan are hopeful that this year a bigger show could bring an even bigger crowd.
The colored lights in it.
Opening night and a chance to get the first look at the show that brings in people from across the country. Lindsay Samache and her kids back for the second time.
Obviously the lights and seeing families together and enjoying one another.
Directors at the garden say they've worked hard all year to create moments just like this one.
Well, we've really enhanced our light show this year with 250,000 more lights. So we're at 750,000 this year. So I think visitors will really see that difference.
The holiday light show runs on select days from now until the end of the holiday season. Fun for young and old alike.
We just came as a group. We've came before, so we figured tonight was the perfect night.
The light show is the largest fundraiser for the nonprofit Rotary Gardens. And while it takes months to set up, those behind the plan say on nights like tonight,
go look.
They're reminded why they do it in the first place.
The 3-month setup period and preparation and work are really worth it to see the smiles on those families' faces.
And if you missed out on tonight's show, do not worry. You still have 20 more chances to attend. For a full list of dates and ticket prices, you can visit our website, channel3000.com. In Janesville, Adam Duxter, News 3 Now.
The lights are set up mainly by volunteers. Kronberg says, though it's been a wet fall, they pushed through in order to get the show done on time. Analysts say retail sales could rise this holiday season more than 4%, but for the first time ever, more people are shopping online this season than at brick and mortar stores. 54% of consumers say they will do most of their shopping online. Only about 36% plan to shop on Black Friday this year, down from 51% in 2016. Retail analysts estimate consumers will spend an average of more than $1,200 on gifts, travel, and entertainment this holiday season. Those online orders will soon show up at our doorsteps, and Madison Police Department put out a video to remind online shoppers to be cautious of porch pirates. Police recommend having packages delivered to your workplace instead of your home. They say shoppers should sign up for email or text notifications so they know when a package arrives. Some shoppers are shying away from typical big box store Black Friday sales and heading to this year's Makers Fair instead. The Madison Makers Black Friday Market and Pub Crawl showcases local artists and vendors at different breweries near downtown Madison. Organizers say they're hoping the fair encourages people to invest in the local economy. A reminder that tomorrow is the 10th annual Small Business Saturday. 74% of consumers say they're choosing to support small, independently owned businesses this year. Downtown Middleton and downtown Madison are celebrating with open houses. There's a holiday trolley running along State Street with welcome bags and treats for kids. There will be free ice cream tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 1 at the newly renovated Garver Feed Mill, and Monroe Street stores are giving away prizes like canvas bags. Today, Pegasus Games is officially back open less than a week after the store closed, many thought for good. After 39 years, it now has two new co-owners, Patrick and Dennis. Negotiations to buy the store from the previous owners were still in the works when the store had its closing celebration last weekend. All the games on the shelves today, Dennis and Patrick had to quickly scramble to order just this past Monday once the deal went through and they finally knew the store would be theirs.
Dennis has spent a lot of his childhood here too. He grew up here. It was actually his very first job ever here at Pegasus Games. I've been gaming. I am a huge Magic the Gathering player. I played my very first FNM, which is Friday Night Magic, here in this same store as well.
They say the last few days have been a whirlwind and they can't wait to carry on what the previous owners built, but they will also add Magic games and products to the shop. A car dealership in Kenosha offered a deal of a lifetime today, but only for a lucky few. People waited in line this morning at the Honda of Kenosha, where they sold 5 used vehicles for $1 each. Buyers just needed to pay dock fees, taxes, and registration. The general sales manager says they just wanted to do something different this year for their Black Friday promotion. The dealership opened at 9 this morning, and the cars were first come, first served. They say all 5 cars sold in the first 10 minutes of doors opening. And in Milwaukee, people there celebrated Black Friday with beer. For the last 8 years, Lakefront Brewery has been putting out specialty beers the day after Thanksgiving that are only available for the one day. Lakefront's president says it has now become a tradition across the city. People actually started lining up last night to be the first inside. The doors opened at 8 this morning. Still ahead tonight, your full weekend forecast, including a chance for some more unfavorable travel conditions. Plus, now that Thanksgiving has come and gone, it's time to start getting ready for Christmas. That story coming up next. Kids are sharing their Christmas list with Santa as people get into the holiday spirit at the annual Sun Prairie Fire Truck Parade. Trucks were decorated for the season. As they drove down Main Street, Santa Claus used his magic to light the downtown holiday tree. Following the parade, kids and their parents were able to explore the inside of the fire trucks while people listened to holiday music downtown. Some local vendors began selling real Christmas trees today. Now, these trees actually take about a decade to grow. Gabriella Becerra went to Eichster's farm and shares more about the process.
From spruce to balsam and pine, the best way to start your holiday season is by picking out the perfect tree. And here at Eichster's farm, they're selling Christmas trees for the first time in 25 years.
3, 2, 1.
The trees at Eichster's farm were planted 1 decade ago.
A lot of work goes into a Christmas tree. People don't understand how much work with all between the shearing them every year and the mowing and just the general upkeep of the ground.
And now they're ready to find a home for the holidays.
I cut a couple hundred the other day, so they're just a few days old.
Shoppers like Liz Roeder picks out a real Christmas tree every year.
The smell, and I just feel like it's Christmassy.
And doesn't find them to be too much of a mess.
It is like when you're setting it up, you get the needles everywhere, but after that, it's okay.
They may want to keep in mind some trees hold their needles better than others, like the Fraser fir and the balsam fir. You're going to pay a little more for those trees, but they retain their needles really nice.
But even if they are a mess, Eichster says it's worth it.
Any tree is a beautiful tree if it's a live tree.
And when you're done finding the perfect tree, head on over to the bonfire and enjoy a cup of hot chocolate or hot cider. In Stoughton, Gabriella Becerra, News 3 Now.
Eichster's farm is selling Christmas trees every Wednesday through Sunday until December 19th. When picking up a tree, be sure to come with a car that it can be strapped to. Let's go to Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti now with your full forecast.
Well, we're watching a mix of precipitation across our viewing area already this evening, especially if you're traveling north of Madison tonight or through the weekend. You're going to be dealing with some inclement weather and in some cases dangerous weather. 3 things you need to know in the forecast. At this point, we're looking at a mixture of light rain, sleet, freezing rain, and snow for tonight into tomorrow, especially north of Madison. And again, it's a difference of a couple degrees in temperatures is going to make a difference between a cold rain and maybe some sleet or freezing rain. Now, tomorrow, as temperatures warm up, it'll be windy. That mix will change over to mainly rain and just some rain showers. So tomorrow shouldn't be a problem around here, although if you're heading north, that's a different story. We'll have more on that in a bit. And then on Sunday, that mix will change back to some snow in the afternoon, and that could lead to some more slippery travel conditions, especially north and west of Madison. So we have an alert day in the forecast overnight into tomorrow morning for that mix of precipitation, maybe an inch or 2 of snow as well, especially closer to the Dells or northward, but a light glaze of freezing rain could make roads slippery. As we take a look at high-resolution Doppler radar right now, a little bit of a break. We've had one batch of precipitation come through. Another batch is getting ready to come in from Iowa. And look at the difference in temperatures. Right around the 35-degree mark near the Illinois state line. Right around freezing here in Madison and freezing or below just to our north. So you can kind of tell where the trouble spots are going to be. Those temperatures will actually start to climb later on tonight. You can see that on Future Track. By 6:30 tomorrow morning, temperatures should be in the mid to upper 30s from Madison southward, still around freezing to the north. That's why that winter weather advisory north of Madison goes until noon. But by 4 o'clock, notice temperatures above freezing everywhere, light rain or rain showers. And then as we head into tomorrow night, the colder air starts to swing in from the north. Those temperatures start to fall by Sunday morning, and precipitation's back to some light snow or flurries, and that could lead to some additional snow accumulations. Right now, freezing rain potential, mainly well north of Madison, but a glaze of ice doesn't take very much to get the road slippery. Snowfall tonight, maybe an inch or 2 north of the Dells. Again, not very much, but with temperatures below freezing, that'll make the roads icy. So winter weather advisories in effect for Richland, Juneau, and Adams counties already. For Sauk, Columbia, Dodge, Marquette, and Green Lake counties starting at midnight, running through noon tomorrow. Farther to the north, that precipitation will be heavier, mainly in the form of snow. Winter storm warnings in effect for northern Wisconsin. A blizzard warning up near Superior and Duluth, where perhaps a foot to a foot and a half of snow is possible through the weekend. This is for the entire weekend. Notice southern Wisconsin, less than an inch south of Madison, maybe a couple inches north of Madison, and most of that will be on Sunday. So our forecast in that winter weather advisory north of Dane County through noon tomorrow. Look for that mix of rain, freezing rain, sleet, or snow, depending on what the temperature is where you're at. Temperatures about about where the lowest they're going to get now and then start rising overnight. And then tomorrow will be windy with that mix of precipitation changing over to primarily rain as the high temperature gets up to 40. Looking at the 7 to 10 day forecast, again, that changeover back to snow, morning high of 38, then falling temperatures and a windy day on Sunday. And then after that, very quiet weather for next week. We'll have about a week to settle down with temperatures mid to upper 30s for the most part. No precipitation from Monday through Sunday of the following weekend.
Wow, so we really get a break from that.
We get a break, but we could use the break during the holiday
Earlier.
weekend, not during the work week.
If only we could switch them around.
Doesn't work that way.
Thank you, Gary.
You're welcome.
Less than 24 hours away from the Axe game, we've got a preview from Minneapolis next.
Well, tomorrow at 2:30, the Badgers and Gophers battle for Paul Bunyan's axe in the longest continuous rivalry in college football. This is arguably the most important matchup since the series began in 1890, though. Jay Wilson joins us from Minneapolis with a final preview.
The 129th meeting between the Wisconsin and Minnesota football teams is one of the most significant in its history. It's pretty simple. The winner of the game wins the Big Ten West Championship and will face #1 ranked Ohio State in the Big Ten Championship in Indianapolis next Saturday. The Badgers certainly have motivation. They spent a year looking at a trophy case that doesn't have Paul Bunyan's axe. The Gophers won it back for the first time in 14 years, and it's really been bugging the Badgers.
It's terrible. It's terrible. Not looking back at all, everything that we've done will mean nothing if we don't win this game. So, we definitely want to make it memorable.
And a lot of guys in our program right now don't know what it felt like to not have it. So now just walk in the locker room and see it empty, it's a different feeling, and we have a different mindset going into this one.
The legacy here, as far as how long the Axe has been here, and being that one team that let it slip away. So now you got to do everything in your power to try to get it back and kind of restart a streak.
The weather could be a real issue for the game. A winter storm warning could dump anywhere from 6 to 12 inches of snow on TCF Bank Stadium. But if you play football in Minnesota in November, hey, it could happen.
This isn't Florida. I mean, we all know that. I mean, as much as we recruit and bring people up and they come to my house in June, that lake freezes. It's not that hard to figure out.
This season, the Gophers have had trouble filling TCF Bank Stadium for their home games. They did it against Penn State a couple of weeks ago, and the Gopher fans will be out to make it a home field advantage against the Badgers on Saturday. In Minneapolis, Jay Wilson, News 3 Now Sports.
All right, today in the Big Ten, shout out to the special teams in the Iowa-Nebraska tie game with 1 second left. That's Keith Duncan drilling the 48-yard field goal. That's after Scott Frost tried to ice him. Nothing shaking the Hawkeyes today, preventing the Huskers from becoming bowl eligible. Iowa finishes the regular season 9-3. Tough night for the Badgers volleyball team, wrapping up the regular season this weekend, starting tonight at Penn State. Well, the Nittany Lions making the comeback of the year. Wisconsin was up 2-0, then gave up the next 3 to lose 3-2 the final. The Badgers finishing up the regular season tomorrow night at Rutgers. The NCAA selection show is on Sunday. The women's hockey team on the road in Nashville for the appropriately named Country Classic. Tonight beating Harvard 5-1. Presley Norby leading the way with 2 goals. The Badgers will face Boston College tomorrow. And in case you missed it last night, rivalry week starting off interestingly in the Egg Bowl between Ole Miss and Mississippi State. This is what happened after Elijah Moore scored the tying touchdown. That is his celebration. Evidently, though, not okay with the refs. Not a good show of sportsmanship either. 15 yards for the penalty there, and welp, karma is a real thing because they ended up missing the field goal. And today, the team, Ole Miss, issuing an apology, apologizing to their fans and everything, but they did not, however, apologize to the other team, which I feel like is a little petty, but that's just my opinion.
It's so interesting to see when they have like a planned celebration where it's a lot of them that they obviously practice.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much, Melissa. We'll be right back.
Well, there's radar. A little bit of a break right now, but the next batch of precipitation moving in from Iowa in the form of rain and mixed precipitation. Temperatures are just above freezing here in Madison, but just below freezing to the north, and that's where the icy travel is possible tonight. There are winter weather advisories north of Dane County through noon tomorrow.
All right, thanks so much for joining us. Have a great night.